Hey all, how is everybody doing? Coming to you with this Christmas vibe look. I am just getting into the festive season. I love this bold red lippy and this sweater and the earrings. I don't know, I'm just feeling good. It's okay to feel good sometimes. It's 7:30 a.m. at my home and I thought I would film my Q&A video from here. So for those who are new to the channel, this will be a great way to get to know me. And for my loyal subs, I love you, love you, love you, my subbies. Right, so like I said, a lot of you had asked some of these questions when I started my 4-part series in association with Lifeboy. So I've gathered some of those questions, plus some of the ones that I got from IG and YouTube when I asked on my Instagram and YouTube recently. A lot of the questions were actually similar, so I'm going to try and see how I can bunch them up. So let's start with the journey through pregnancy, giving birth and breastfeeding. So questions around that. Why don't we get into it? Linda Mudaura says, I'm at the same stage in the journey. I would like to know what do you eat for milk production and where do you get your mommy supplies, the biscuits, and which hospital maternity supplies. So for milk supply, what kept it up was there's a lot of lactation cookies, Mortelium, although I know sometimes some gynecologists don't like talking about that, but it did help me a lot. And the instruction is to take it about 2 or 3 times a day. So talk to your gynae about that. There's a ton of stuff. Fenugreek seeds, dill seeds, lots and lots and lots of water, lots of warm water, lots of hot chocolate, and lots of porridge and soup. It's the stuff you hear about all the time, and it works. And that's what kept my supply up. There was a time I was actually pretty much exclusively breastfeeding Mali. My period started shortly after, and I'm not anymore. So there's a ton of things that can help with milk supply, and I'd advise people to read up on it as well and to ask their doctors. By mommy supplies, I don't know whether you mean things like maternity pads and disposable panties. I get a lot of stuff from Sunu's in town. I feel like they have a bunch of everything. Bali really wanted something about the pressure socks. Now I wore pressure socks when I had my cholecystectomy, which is the gallbladder removal, because it avoids you getting any blood clots. Again, if you want to know more about that, I think a specialist is the one who can advise, but I would say that they served their purpose. Mary Dina says, I've learned a lot from your journey. Congratulations on baby Mali. Thank you, and a quick recovery. I would love you to talk about your VBAC and why it wasn't possible. So I've gotten quite a few questions on that. Huru, my firstborn, was born by a cesarean because he was breech. So that's the reason why. This time around, Mali wasn't breech. In fact, he was in a great position. I went into labor. I was ready to have that VBAC. I was so excited to push, and I labored for about 11 hours, but I wasn't dilating. Like I was at 1 centimeter and it was not moving. And at the time I was 11 going into 12 hours of labor, I was still at 1 centimeter dilated. Everybody was just like, look, let's not force it. Let's have the C-section. So it wasn't what I wanted, but I just wanted to do what was best for the baby and I. And so that's why I didn't manage to do the VBAC. Again, walk with your doctor on this journey. This is mine. If you're able to do a VBAC, man, props to you, because I think having the baby naturally is the goal. But it's not to say that when you do a C-section, it's not like you haven't experienced what it means to bring a baby into this world. The baby is safe, mommy's safe, that's what counts. So that's my VBAC story. DMG asks, can you please talk about constipation? I don't know whether you mean constipation when you're nursing, I think. In that case, there are certain suppositories that can be given to ease the constipation. Drink a ton of water. I know it helped me. Because of my gallbladder removal and some of the procedures I had, I was constipating in the beginning. So I had to be given suppositories and certain medications that, like laxatives, that could help with my motion. And I only used those for 2 weeks and then I was fine. But right now I drink a ton of water, tons of warm water every day, and it just helps with that. Someone asked about a baby carrier. Where can I get it? I think you can get baby carriers in almost every baby shop. Again, Sunu's and Biashara Street, and if you guys have any other recommendations, let me know. Tajistore Junction is very expensive, but they've got really great quality stuff, so it's somewhere to check out. Like I said, a lot of baby shops have baby carriers, so just make sure you look around. Wairimu Deborah asked, can you please do a CS postpartum care for the CS wound? That's a good question. I was given a certain cream to apply on the wound for 30 days after that. So again, your doctor would likely recommend certain creams that are medicinal, that just help with the wound. Again, obviously it's the usual, don't bend too much, don't strain yourself too much on that area, because it takes 3 to 6 months for it to fully heal. So for the CS wound, I did that, and then now what I'm doing is I'm applying, the usual Vaseline jelly and just making sure that I massage very gently, keep it moisturized, and sometimes I will wear a maternity panty, which is the one that goes all the way to the belly button, just to protect that area. I just keep it clean, keep it moisturized. I would say that's what works. If the wound inside is giving you a problem, wow, that's where you need to go for medical advice, because it could be something that's worse off than you think it is and you'd need medication. Annette is asking, is it advisable to use Lifebuoy soap? Which is the best soap for a newborn? I'm 8 months pregnant and looking forward to using Lifebuoy on my baby. Whoop! Lifebuoy family. Yes, Lifebuoy can be used for every member of your family, so please feel free to use it. It is all good. Branis Anota asks, I had my baby through CS, but now my stomach is still as big as if I'm expecting. Some tips on how to lose the baby weight. I feel like I want to address this two-pronged. One is everybody's journey is different. You could be having a postpartum body that you want to change for a period of 2 to 3 years. For some people it takes 1 month. Everyone is different. What I would say is go in tune with your body. If your body is still healing, if your body still needs some time to adjust, take your time. I don't think you need to slay for anyone unless your body has gotten back to where it needs to be before you can work out or do exercises and that kind of thing. Hilda wants to know which pump I was using. I was using the Medela pump. I used it with Huru and used it with Mali, and you can get it from most supermarkets. Again, if anybody wants to recommend a different pump, please feel free to, but Medela worked really well for me. Winnie asks, could you share a video of what you eat? I'm gonna do that in the new year, because I feel like that needs to be a separate video on its own. I'm a new mom to a 3-week-old baby. How do you deal with baby colic? Huru had colic. It's a nightmare. So sorry, mama. I know the struggle. Baby isn't sleeping much, and whatever you're doing isn't helping. Colic lasts 3 months, at the very most 4, and then it disappears. It's just gone with the wind. So I hope that consoles you. How do you deal with it? There's a ton of things that your pediatrician could recommend. Gripe water, Bonisan. Go with the flow of what your pediatrician is telling you. For me, with Huru, we used a bit of gripe water in the beginning, and eventually we used Bonisan, which we thought was giving more ease. But I was also told later, don't give your baby too many things that are medicinal at that age. It's not very good for their kidney. So that's why I'm saying talk to your pediatrician. But remember, soothe your baby, breastfeed, soothe them, massage their tummy gently, walk with them. It's a more natural way to soothe them. How do you manage to take care of your hair during breastfeeding without it falling off? It fell a little bit. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can fully prevent it, but this is nothing compared to when I had Huru. I had no hairline. It started here, but that was for a period of a month or 2. A lot of these things, ladies and gentlemen, it's just seasons. It's difficult to stomach that, but it's part of this beautiful journey of motherhood. So if there's a bit of hair loss, it's natural. It's really normal for your hair to fall off. I know there's certain things you can do. I continue to take my pregnancy supplements, and I think that's why this time around I didn't struggle a lot with hair loss, because you take your Pregna Multi or your Pregna Care, whatever it is, throughout pregnancy, but then you forget it during your nursing journey. Take it for 6 months post-nursing. The calcium still helps with maintaining the hairline, and that's why you can't really tell. It's because I've pointed it out, but that's why it's made such a difference this time round. So that's a lot about motherhood, etc. This is more about balancing work life. Farhana Oberson, who is a friend and a fellow YouTuber, asked, I only have one question. How do you manage to juggle everything together? Your kids, your husband, your YouTube channel, Instagram, your projects. Does it ever drive you crazy and make you overwhelmed? Because it's one thing I struggle with so much right now. Great question, Farhana, and I get asked that a lot. Someone once told me you can do everything but not at the same time. I totally get that now. I am a mom of a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old. I still am passionate about my passion projects, about family. And so what I'm trying to do right now is do the best that I can from the comfort of my home or my home environment. So right now I'm filming this from my living room. My baby's upstairs sleeping, Huru's in the kitchen causing a racket, but I'm still able to put out content because I'm doing it from, if anything happens and if I need to nurse my baby, I can just run upstairs. Sometimes I do my projects outside of the home. It just means that I plan really well, make sure that the baby is with a loved one or with the nanny and has everything they need, and I step out when I know that they're probably going to be taking a nap, and when Huru is in playgroup. So I plan everything around my family. Devora, I think that's how your name is on Instagram, asked if I'm planning to go back to TV, and Maureen and Caroline also wanted to know. I am, maybe not in the way that people were used to seeing me. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Reki_Jerry asked, I remember you saying you are working on your spiritual life. How is that going? I am. I remember saying that there's 3 F's that are gonna drive my life, at least for the next 5 years, probably for the rest of my life: faith, family, focus. So for faith, I try and make steps towards it every day. Whether it means saying a prayer in the best way that I possibly can, whether it means reading a Bible verse every so often. I'm just trying to make strides towards working on my relationship with God, because I feel like He's been so good to me and so merciful and tons of favor, and I just feel like when I lean on Him for guidance, it all makes sense. So I'm not super duper spiritual, but I believe in spirituality. I believe in the gift of God and having Him in your life, and it just means I'm doing it in my own way, day at a time. I pray for my kids a lot. I pray over them. I pray over my family. So step at a time, step at a time. It's Miss Muya. Hello, my dear. You're asking, on babies, how do you choose the right people to hang around your kids? Hey, that's a tough one. And I don't know, my kids are still very young. So right now they're surrounded by nuclear family and extended family predominantly. They do have play dates. Huru does have play dates. And I find that if it's a mom that I have similar values with, then I love that. It just makes me more comfortable that he's around a child whose values I share with the parents. How do I keep myself smiling? People go through so much, my dear, that you thank God for the small wins and for the little mercies. And I keep focused on that. I keep focused on the fact that even though there are some pretty dark days, very, very hard days, it's a season. You can get through dark moments if you just focus your mind on the silver lining in the cloud. Meditate, pray, spend time with positive people around you. I don't know, that's what keeps me going. And I hope that for you, there's something that can allow you to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because that's what keeps me focused and that's what keeps me going. Karen Jerry wants to know which is my Ushago County. It's Embu, that's where I'm from. Sharon Kendi, advice you tell your younger self: listen more, be teachable, learn the ropes. Winnie M, how long did it take you to get on your feet after Marley's birth? Your channel is educative and inspiring. Thank you so much for that. It's taken me till now. I did Huru's birthday a month after. I still wasn't fully myself. It's now 3 months and I still get aches and pains. So I would say I'll fully be back into my full self 3 months from now when Marley is 6 months old. So I'm going easy on myself. I still get very busy. You've seen weeks in my life. There's some weeks which are just super busy, and then the next week I just have downtime. So what advice would you give to someone who feels they aren't good enough or feel that they're a total fail in all they do? I'm in campus on whether I should have fun or focus to achieve my goals. Focus, my dear, and never feel like a failure. It's either someone who's making you feel that way, but if you're making yourself feel that way, remember you are what you believe you are. Do you believe that you have the capabilities to do great things? Do you believe that some things don't come overnight and it takes time? Be kind to yourself. Ask yourself a couple of questions on how you can improve with your life, on how you can make the right choices, whether it's for your studies or your career. And don't listen to the noise around you that's telling you you're not good enough. Read motivational books. Surround yourself with material that shows you that people who have done great things sometimes start by feeling like failures, but you have to talk yourself out of it. And it's only you who can do it. No matter how much people tell you, you're great, you're amazing. If you don't believe it, you can't shake that feeling. So stay focused on the best thing that you can do for yourself and surround yourself with positivity. Redefined Gospel asked, what would you say has helped you become a great media personality? Thank you for that. How have you managed to get to moderate panels, MC, I just always wanted to improve my craft. I still do. I still really want to improve my craft. So watching greats, great people, listening to them, seeking out mentorship from people who've done it for such a long time. And the same thing with MC and moderating, practice. You start with a gig and you're not that great, but you ask yourself, what could I have done better? Watch a ton of people, go to events and watch what the MC is doing. Point out what you think is good, what you think is good and what you think is bad, and Try and work on a craft that works for you, but be your best self. When I MC best when I'm feeling like I'm in the zone, when I'm Janet, the way I'm talking to you now, as opposed to putting on a show, because sometimes that doesn't work out well. Lucy Tsungu, do you think that you're living your purpose? If yes, do you have any tips on how to discover your purpose? That is such a good question, Lucy. Everybody, and I think I've mentioned this earlier in the video, everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a bigger deal in them. And you have to sit and have a conversation with yourself and ask, what is it that concerns me? Is it issues around children, childcare, moms, women, the youth? What is it that that tugs at my heart? You will find that there's something. Or what is it that inspires me? Is it fashion? Is it singing? What is that thing that drives me and gives me purpose? Every single human being in this world has that one thing that they gravitate towards. Then ask yourself, where do I fit in all this? Or maybe before I figure out how I fit in, how about I just start exploring this world that I'm very passionate about, reaching out to certain NGOs and ask them if they need a volunteer, reading a lot about your area of passion and purpose, putting yourself out there. Nobody is an island, everybody has to roam. That's a line from one of my favorite songs. So you can't do a lot of things on your own. You have to put yourself out there, you have to roam, find your community, find what it is that makes you click, and then just take baby steps towards that. That's the best tip I can give you, Lucy, because that's what I did. Only you can learn yourself. Seek help. Seek counseling if you get to a point where you feel so broken. Don't be afraid to seek that help on that level if you can access it. Guys, that's the best I could do right now for this Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. I do need to take time and maybe do separate videos because I've noticed certain questions that a lot of you are asking me, and I want to take my time and give my, share my 2 cents on it, because I feel like I just want to pay it forward. I want to share as much as I can. I want to uplift someone. I'm very much in a space of wanting to see people thrive, men and women, but especially the women in my life, because I know that thriving as a woman isn't that easy. There's a lot of things that stand in the way of that, but also my brothers. And, I have family members who are putting out amazing projects next year, both, the men and women in my family. So I'm so happy to be a part of it. I just want you all to thrive. I want you all to thrive, and you can. You have to be kinder to yourself. You have to talk to yourself and say, I still have a while to go, but I'm going to work every day towards it. And just be kinder to yourself. Be focused. Focus is everything. And it's not easy because there's so much noise around us. There's noise on social media, and there's noise in our homes, and there's noise in our schools. But you have to navigate, or I would say you have to draw yourself closer to materials online or offline that pull you back into your focus. And they're there. It's podcasts, it's YouTube videos, it's books, it's mentors, people and materials that keep leading you back to, why am I here? And let me tell you, everybody has a reason why they were put on this earth. So don't take that for granted. And don't think you have to wake up and start a philanthropic foundation that saves millions of people. No, you could just baby steps. You could start with something small. You could start by talking to someone today and making them feel better. You could start by plugging into fantastic initiatives that require some bit of your time and a little bit of your money. It's little steps towards making this world a better place. That's what I honestly think. It may sound cheesy, but I honestly believe that. And with that, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. You guys have made my year. Can I say that? My YouTube subbies, my subscribers, my followers on social media, you've done something to me this year that I will be forever grateful for, and that's reminding me that I was put on this earth for a purpose. I love you to bits. I appreciate you. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your constructive criticism. I appreciate you being you, and just know that you are so great. And so find your 3 Fs. Mine are faith, family, and focus. What are yours? Find your own version of what keeps you going. And yeah, thrive in 2019. I want to hear your stories of thriving. I love you. I have some great projects lined up for you next year. God willing, they come to fruition. I will see you. Have yourself a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Mwah. Much love. Nothing but love for you.